Hello and welcome. Right, I've just literally, I'm really glad I'm in the habit of checking now. I literally forgot to press record. Yeah, so this is the beginning of the next session. We do need this soon. I'm going to do a few little tweaks as well, little ones. I have been tweaking a few things. I'd like to put some grass down on this as we're passing, and also get rid of that little bit of grass there that really now looks a bit odd. Which we need the level tool for. Well, it's one of the easier ways to actually do it. Yeah, really, I think. Right, so then a bit of grass, and then do we put the? No, I think we put the grass down first, because otherwise it goes on top of the colours. So I'm going to do this, which is literally just like decorative grass, which I really like the way that Giants have done that. To me, it's a massive thing, because it was one of those things in FS25 that always bugged me. I often did because it was so expensive, I often made grass, as in like we grew it properly because it was just so expensive. Right, so we really want a path. Yeah, this is what a weird one really. You can see it sort of does strange things. There's certain ones, asphalt is really one of the best for this. For actually, I've got to allow for refraction. Oh, well, you can see the path underneath. It's sort of overgrown slightly, but it's better than not having it at all. I've begun to make one of those pipes that you see there, but it didn't work well. I tried to grab it from the American map and it didn't grab it, but to be honest, I can go into Blender and make one. So I'm going to have a go at doing that so that I can stick those down and literally do these land bridges that I've done here, because it is in the game, although the bridges work, some packs did used to work in FS25. There were certain ones that they had allowed for the fact that you couldn't put it down on your land. So I think it's the bought with farmland, like a line that you have to put in, and then basically when you stick it down, you're sort of buying the land. But I'm still not sure in the map if it allows you to do that type of thing. This is a monster field. I've got to be. I know I'm happy, very happy, but it's true. The other thing is I'm going to do a few bits and bobs in the middle, because we are splitting the field anyway. So right, let's. I think that is about. I'm going to stop there. Yeah, I've been sort of tweaking quite a few little bits and mods, and I just thought, enough. It's one of those very intensive concentration things that really does take a lot out of you, like mentally. So I thought, just get on with doing a normal Let's Play. And I thought, Louisiana. Yeah, I was going to go on Moss Valley. I haven't released it yet. I thought, no, leave it, because you've still got Oak Ridge Farm to finish. So Moss Valley is going to be, I think, the next English map, unless Farms in Briscoe releases his map, and then I will go on that, because yeah, I really love his maps. Yeah, so I'm just thinking a bit like, yeah, obviously he's had a bad experience, and he's sort of talking about giving up, and I think the last video I saw him do was pretty much as if he'd made that decision, which is a shame to lose someone of the caliber of his map making skills, really. So let's set you going. Let's grab the baler again, which is you. Let's set you going too. And then I think we're going to go into another time lapse, because there's still an awful lot to do. There is, and it's also quite intensive for myself to do this. I'm enjoying this, but I do realise, one thing before I go into the time lapse, that having these, I always knew there was a reason why. Obviously, when I switch this one on, it switches this one off, or if I switch this one on, because this one's so close to it, it switches this one. It's almost tension belts. I didn't realise, but they have like a cascade effect. So if I touch this one, it'll do this one, which will then do this one, which means that this is then switched off, and I have to keep on re-clicking everything. So knowing that I know that now, I will do the back ones are alright, because they are a bit, but I think what I'm going to have to do is literally look at the proper spacing that like Giants do, and realise there's a reason they do that particular way for actually doing it. So yeah, I'm going to literally learn my lesson from that. Again, these are all things at the beginning of like your you're modding that you actually don't really know. You know, there is. How would you? You know, like how do you know there are rules for pretty much everything in sort of modding? And it is true, there are. It's. I should know better. Right. Yeah, I've started to do a double fork, but it's not quite right. I looked just before I came onto the Let's Play just to... this is a beautiful thing. This is what I want my pass-through weight to be like, because this is really a thing of beauty. And there's a lot of work on it. And that's just... Yeah, I can see that one of them's unstrapped again. Again, every time you strap one, if it's close to another one, it will unstrap that one. On mine, it doesn't do that normally, because if you've got your straps apart by the amount that normally, like most people do it at, you're okay. So I think I've got some bales like that I need to already grab. These are... I've used the G866 Mods one because it really is a cracker. I've not switched on the additional width, which perhaps I should have done, because obviously it is a bit useful for going around the corners for the workers, and especially on a field like this. But I think the mover, I was like thinking, do I grab the mover? I always said I'd grab the mover if it's... And I thought, I don't think the mover suits this kind of thing. To grab bales, I think sometimes is the best way on a field of this size, and then gather them up, even though in a way you could say you're technically double handling. I still think it's best to do it that way. I have got a mower set, not that that's anything to do with this, but yeah, I'm gonna on that. I need to be on that one. Yeah, on the mower set, I'm going to build a back attacher, and so that the mover can sort of be the windrower on that. Is an 11 meter. It's one of the cutter bars that we had in FS19 and FS22, which is sadly missing. But even if another modder puts it in, it's very unlikely that they would have done the size that I have done. So it is an 11 meter. Yeah, the old one was a 6.9 or a 7 meter. So I've literally I've got a larger one, and I will be. Yeah, so it's only really it's only marginally bigger. Really, it's not enormously bigger than the others, but what it is, it's only the second largest in the game. It will be. So yeah, well, that is of course if it gets in the game. That's all. As in all these things, they're all subject to Giants thinking there is a place in the world for it. I mean, hopefully there will. It's just really, it's just the fault bar that was in FS19 and FS22, only a little bit larger. It's still the normal basic function. I've not added a collector or anything like that. I want to keep it cheap, and I might in time do a collector for it. I want to grab that. Yeah, it does sort of not slow down. It doesn't slow down at all. I seriously wonder about that. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to go really... Again, this is why, obviously, this particular mod, the flatbed, well, it exists in 3 different sort of forms, because, again, I'm still deliberating on which one is the best form, and, like, obviously, spacing is identical on all of them, because it is, in essence, the same one. Yeah, so... If you go for this one, I don't think it switches this off. No, it does... Oh, did it? No, it wasn't over it. Yeah, and that's still on that one, and that's still on that one. So yeah, it depends on which the ones at the front are the worst because they're too close. And if you switch one, can I show you doing it? Can I like show that it'll unclip the one next to it? That's not actually clipped. Well, that's strange because it is actually working now. There are some times, yeah, now that one didn't, you see, that one's gone under, so it is weird. It's almost like belt 1 isn't working properly. Yeah, it is. Perhaps it is the fact that it's too close, or it's too close. I always did wonder that it had been too close to this end, so it may be that it is that. So I might remove belt 1, yes, so that it's like not affecting the others like that, or I'm thinking I've used it and I haven't used it at all because it's not strapping. Right, let's get this done. So yeah, we really have got nowhere to dump this, but it is true what I'm trying to do is I'd like to stick a large silo in the middle of the fields is my thing, because I think that it will suit this particular thing. This particular thing. How many times am I going to say that? This particular map, with this field being so big, and it's really going to be. Oh, again. Has it grabbed everything? Yeah, no, it has. It's got to grab the second and third, and it's grabbed the first as well, so... Right, that's better. Yes, I did notice on the cannery of the suit factory, I was letting go of, like, cans with that. Well, at least he's waiting. Right, yeah, and that's going to be like... Yeah, it seems it attacks the trailer, so let's just stop here for a few minutes. We'll take over for a minute as well, and then I am going to go into the timers, because it's not going to do it. It, like, attacks it. It can't figure it out. Well, let's be honest. I'm very surprised this uses the 16 meter. I'm really nicely surprised. And I realise we're still leasing it. And I think I will. I think because there's going to be a long time before the next harvest, really. And as I said, I have got something in mind for this. But two things, actually. Because it's sort of... I'm trying to test, but really it naturally... It was following the conversation I had the other day about the barley and about it not having much love and all that type of thing that actually I thought I obviously checked. I think I had the conversation yesterday where I literally said that and obviously whiskey is one of those things that actually barley is used for. So I've gone and made a whiskey production, which obviously suits us because we've got a lot of barley, and also we've got an awful lot of straw, so I'm going to do the straw mod because I'd like to test them, because I wish to put them in the ModHubb as soon as possible for testing, so I'd like to get them tested. So what I mean is, naturally on this Let's Play, where I can, I'm trying to make it so that on a Let's Play I can test with things, so it is a coincidence if, like, a Let's Play, if we have got barley now, so therefore I'm going to test with a whiskey because I've got the barley. It's just as simple as that, really, that I need to test. I've just thought I'd refuel because this has been on the field for a long time. Right, let's get this going. And I am going to go. I'm going to say my words. Yeah, I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Timers. I know we're not quite finished, but yeah, there's a few things I'd like to do. Now I do realise why this is not accepting straw. This is what I don't use this silo very often, and we made some changes to the models once I'd realised what I'd actually done wrong for quite a while, and this is one of those that I haven't actually done. So I've not put the bail trigger back in, so it won't accept bails. So it is really as simple as that. So all I need to do is go and tweak this, and there's a few little stragglers, I'd call them. Yeah, ones that aren't quite finished. Yeah, where again, like this one, I don't use it very often, but this is its purpose, to be on a big map like this. So let's grab this, and we will really need to empty this one last time. It's very useful having this on the field, and it will be very useful. Let's just do a little bit of tidy. Oh, we can't. Well, I suppose we might be able to get a little bit, but let's just empty it out. I do like this, the forest grass. I've used it quite a few times. It's one of the few things that actually paints straight away. Yeah, it doesn't care about it doesn't do the fading thing. Yeah, like all of the stony type ones seem to like have some sort of slowness to them where you can see things coming through, whereas this doesn't have that. So yeah, I'm really rusting to see. This is a 1 million litre capacity for a lot of products. It really is. Obviously, it is a production, but obviously it's almost like a multi-fruit silo, sort of. Well, it accepts anything you tell it to accept, so it is still a production, but it just is the pusher, as I call it. It really does push from one thing to another. So otherwise, as we know it, a production silo. It's true. Yeah, I just thought it was quite an apt name for it, really, the pusher. There's a tiny bit of clear, but I think we've got enough straw to sink a battleship, really. I don't think the little tiny bits, because this is a big field, there are a few little tiny bits that are like I do think there's a bit of like more, yeah, where he is. I think he's actually inside the last little bit of barley, so we need to shift him. Yeah, he is as well. Might be just past it, but we'll yeah, we'll set him over here, I think. Yeah, so it's not quite half, but I don't mind an unequal. I think we could split it again like that. Keep this as a really large half and have these as two quite, not quite half. Oh, it is actually through the 10 there. Yeah, it is. I was aiming for that, but it's not quite half still. But yeah, it's not always a bad thing to have an unequal sugar effect. I think it'll still see it's all painted. It should still see all of that, that it is painting, even though it's different painting. Well, again, learning curve. Again, if it's not, as I've always thought it's to be. I mean, I know that the painting trick is an old trick. Obviously, is what sort of tells everything how you split your field. So when you do it yourself, it really becomes another field, which I've used on many Let's Plays. And I know that works, but I don't think I've ever tried like multiple paints. So we shall ask the store to pick this beautiful header up, and we will indeed. Well, to be honest, if we did buy it, we wouldn't have been able. Well, we'd have been very close to not being able to afford that beautiful thing. We know we've got a lot of things on hand, products to sell, but let's try that. Let's stick this last little bit of barley, grab the little bit of straw that we just made, because that's a bit too much to waste. And then I would like to do this session, as I did promise. Yeah, you've got to let what you promise be true. So well, you haven't got to. You could be a liar, but I don't wish to be a liar. I really wish to. If I say I'm going to do something, I wish to say it. You can't always. Yeah, as a human being, you don't always get it right. It's always spot on because you make mistakes. But as much as it is in the power of my hand, I wish to make sure that I do it right. So let's get this last little bits that just around here. So there are a few little bits, I would imagine, like turnaround bits and things like that. We have got an awful lot of straw, so I'm not going to be that finicky because it is a big field. It might take another 10-20 minutes just to get a few, maybe even one bale. And although I don't like wasting it away, it's in another way it is a lot of effort, and it's already been a lot of effort. So let's just grab these bits as well. I said, I wish to be being, yeah, I don't want to be like leaving bits behind that I really should be grabbing. So as I say, he's going to go all over the field grabbing everything. That's a little bit, well, he's just said he's not going to do it, and then he goes and does it. No, I'm not. I'm just going to grab the bits that we're actually sort of very close to. To every corner of the globe, of the fields too, because it is a biggie. It really, I thought I was being silly when I did 7 headlands. I was a sort of a guess, an educated guess, but it really did. I mean, it was not far off, and that for a 16-metre header is quite phenomenal, really. Yeah, there's quite a lot here, and we are close to it. I'm not going everywhere. Just stick to these bits where we can actually see. I do like it. It's a bit of a beast, this, the way you can like literally do it at full speed. But it is nice to see GH66 mods actually back in the game. I was getting a little bit worried because it's not doing a production shed, which I've got to be honest, was, I thought, one of the best bits of work that he ever did. Or she, I'm not sure. There's no sure bet that it is a he. It's a bit of a non-plus title, GH66 mods. So, but they are a darn good modder. I love their production shed. I wish I'd found it sooner. It was one of those things that an innocuous looking little shed that you thought, oh, it's just a little shed. And then like one day I looked a little bit closer. I thought, oh, this is not just another little shed. It's a real beautiful bit of kit. So yeah, it was probably then one of my go-to productions in the same as the Farm Supply production by Everton. They were probably my 2 most widely used productions, and then closely followed by Desk Pledges, the fertilizer one that he did. Yeah, the fertiliser one that he did also was a cracker. Really, a bit of a chugger. It wasn't overpowered. Neither was the GX66 ones. Now, this is a little overpowered. There's no denying this fact that this is a beast. It's, yeah, I mean, again, not seen anything of Mark 4. None of his mods, so I'm not sure whether he's given up the ghost. Ridiculous Dominic, who I was also a massive fan of, he's done the one little power, so he is still in the game. Yeah, I'm hoping he does his plough and things, although I must admit, I do like the way Black Sheep Modding has done the 12 metre now. But yeah, it would be interesting. I did think Ridiculous Dominic had an awful lot of, again, he was, I say was in some, just was, as in he's not in the game at present. No, as in like, no, past tense, as in like FS22. Now then, we really shouldn't have worried about this. We really need 1% more, and I am going to like scout, because these are big bales. Ooh, 16 odd tons. We're going to do that little trick. Yeah, where we actually buy it, because I can't afford to waste 16,442 litres, so we're going to buy a little bit of straw. A game mechanic trade-off, I would say. We're going to buy it so that we can finish the bale. Something I didn't realise until a few months ago, that you could actually do this. Yeah, I tried it one Let's Play and I thought, because it was something like this, I think it was the Mark 4 one on FS22, and I thought, can you fill the bale up? Will it let you do it? It will indeed. Oh, okay. Two of them? Wow. Right, so we'll just send this back as well. Switch it off. Sometimes you press the two buttons but not quite together. And so I think we'll stick the normal productions in our normal farmyard. I won't call it a field anymore because it really is not a field. So we're going to stick the two things that we are going to use a lot. And I'm hoping this says keep because we put this down. I think keeps the default setting on this, so we want the huge. It is on keep as default, which is fantastic. So if you put I like that. Braven has thought of pretty much everything. Obviously, if you've already placed something and then you do it before it existed on a Let's Play, it won't change it. You've got to change it yourself, which is a pain in the backside. But if you put something new down, it will indeed start as keep. So it's blocking, which is brilliant. Right, so we're going to need straw to distribute. Oh, yeah. So I mean, it must be a reason for this because Braven has really thought this through very well. So there's got to be a reason. It's got to be done like this. He's going around the normal sort of rules. So he's had to make a rule, and obviously this as well. Select. Distribute, and the other thing we're going to need to do is the barley, which is going to be B at the top, which I went straight past. Oh, actually, is this in? It doesn't look like it's in alphabetical. Ah, it sort of is. Distributing, fantastic. So, how much have we actually got in here? It's not all in here, of course. 174,000 litres. And we, the long grain rice and the spinach and the peas and green beans are also filling this up as well. So straw 250,000 litres. How did we get 250,000 litres in that if it's not accepting straw bales? Ah, because the other one's pushed it across. The other one does accept bales, so that means we can really. I'd like to fix it there, and I'd like to do this next session. So, last thing we're going to do is over at the farmyard. I would split the field another time, but I did promise we'd do this. So let's pop over here, and let's grab in. Yeah, I mean we are running out of field space. We've pretty much used. I mean, in so much as. You can always use a bit more. We also, I think we might be able to do this if we do it far enough away, or we don't need to level. I don't know. I think we ought to, if we're going to do this, I think we ought to carry on in the way we've done everything else, really, which is the level from this point. But we'll make it a bit of a biggie like that. It's going to cost us a bit, but we need to paint as well. We don't need to do it all. It is going to get expensive. Oh, it's getting rid of the nice reeds, so let's try and be careful. Yeah, now we need to do a little bit of softening to make it not become like Mount Kilimanjaro. Fantastic. And now we need to do a little bit of... now, I think I've gone for the one I like, haven't I? The concrete pebbles I have. So let's do that. I just don't want to be sinking into the ground. It's... do we want to do that much concrete? I'm not a massive fan. It is the farmyard, though, I suppose. Yeah, it really is. We're going to put vehicles. That's not vehicles. We're not going to put vehicles. Yeah, we're going to put production. Some maybe another shed, even though our shed is fantastic. Although I don't know. I'm trying to see, because I love that shed. I'm trying to see, is it possible? Because it wasn't far off when I used it in Riverbend Springs, when I discovered the beautiful little thing that it is. Yeah, I wondered. I mean, it couldn't stick everything in that, but this is a little bit bigger. I wonder with the side things and everything, can we fit almost everything? Yeah, apart from the things that you couldn't fit in there anyway, like long trailers and things like that. But can we fit everything in there? That's what I'm really rusting to know. Right, so then, let's stick our two other productions. I think we'll go around the edge. These do sort of span out and fit together really well. So we want... nope, that we've got already. I just wanted to try something as well. Yeah, this is one. I just want to test the... It doesn't look like the right one. It is. I think it's 70. I think it is a 27,000 one. It's what if it's not here, then I've broken it again. Luxury Dessert Standard. Luxury Dessert Mark 1. Bionic. Here we go. The cement factory. Oh, it's still broken. What is wrong with you now? Unload trigger marker. Well, are we getting there? That's only one thing. Test area node is not a direct child of start node. Right, okay. Two things. Just going to quickly take a screenshot of that. No, I won't. I'll do it afterwards. I will. Yeah. Right, trigger marker. Main thing is that's wrong with it. It's already had a shed load of errors, so I'm getting there. It's not much. No, we do need that, though. We do. Right, so the whiskey factory. Obviously, you can also do corn with this, too. We can sort of stick that. I do love the way these are so amazing. The space saving that you can actually do with them is quite amazing. And that is actually going to fit quite nicely. And we want the straw as well, which really does look quite unique. Quite like. Oh, I must actually. Yeah, I've like left some. Really is. We could, if we sort of carry on like this, we could sort of. I'm forgetting. Yeah, that literally is skinters. I mean, we've got stuff to sell, but that is amazing. So yeah, we're going to stick this wood. Stick it on now. We also need to do the guar bit. In fact, yeah, we can stick some of it on. Yeah, it is possible. There are certain things in the straw factory that the baskets that don't need. So we want to activate it first, and also the straw hats are also just straw. So yeah, we know there's nothing in there in a minute, but it soon will be. Yeah, the production silos shall push that along. Did we do the normal one on straw to push? And I don't think I would have done because I didn't realise that at that point. So, oh no, we did, but we've not activated it. So that's not much use without that being activated. Also, check the barley. We've actually done that too. Because we do need that. Yeah, we did put... Oh, that's true. The other thing is, we really want to see how much barley there is. 14,000. Oh, it would have pushed it to the... But it shouldn't be pushing at all. It's not activated. I say it is true what I said about things not actually working properly. So does that mean everything's gone into the huge production? Well, yeah, no, it did. We saw it, 250,000 litres. And obviously the rest of it is on the trailer. So it really has gone to this one. But now that one should push to the straw factory. And we should start to make straw baskets and straw hats. I've tried to... I think I've altered the costs yesterday because I realised that obviously the straw baskets and the straw hats are terribly cheap. There's not a lot to it. It's just straw and obviously effort. Whereas these, the straw cutlery is in between. It does need glue still, but the straw bricks, they are quite intensive. And the boards, there's quite a lot that goes into added chemicals and bits and bobs that obviously the game can't reflect. So therefore I'm reflecting that in direct costs. But obviously the glue, we need to do the greenhouse to actually get the guar beans to make the guar glue. So yeah, we're out of money for now. But so how much did we do in total of the barley? It's not, no, it doesn't show there, does it? It all shows in the... I do like the way that it does come through. 189,450 litres. Have we got any stuck in the trailer? I just want to be thorough because, I mean, don't get me wrong, that is fantastic. I think that even trumps Rhombos Road on... no, we did actually empty. So that is it. Oh, nearly 200,000. And there were a few fields from Rhombos that were about 170-odd thousand. So I don't know. It's about right. It's, literally is pretty much about the same as the huge fields that we had on Rhombos. So it is a monster, but it's not... It's like anything, you sometimes forget. But like when I start to think of some of the huge amounts on some of the massive fields on Rhombos, really, they were about this literage as well. So, and barley is quite a high yield thing as well. So we beat the rain, that's the good thing. So we've pretty much skint, but we have got an awful lot of cash in... not as much as I thought. We've got, 644,000 litres of straw. So that's going to make rather a lot of... It's a mediocre business, the straw thing. It's not, as you'd expect. The boards and that are the dearer of the products, because obviously the glue and all the rest of it in the building materials, so they demand a fairly good price for what straw is, but not silly. They're quite low down, I think, because it's S for straw. Yeah, so the baskets and the hats are the same. Obviously, they do go up and down a little bit. And the straw boards are a little bit dearer. But again, I've tried to do this so... I think that's in between. No, the straw cutlery, I've done this, and that once needs tweaking a little. Its cost is not... It wants to be in between the two. The boards and bricks do want to be really the same. So, yeah, they sort of... bear in mind this is hard economy too, where the prices are really terrible. It's not going to be too terrible. It's going to be still a fairly decent business on normal economy, but again, I've tried to put it in the bit where I think it should be. So let's just call the shop naturally, but let's do it a little bit further. Not that you can do it out of sight, because the way Giants have done it, it's you can always see it when you like go into your... Now there is supposed to be a mod that I have got on that's supposed to like... C for search. Yeah, but I need to know what I'm searching for. I've never used this mod. I would need a guidance for like looking at it. It's supposed to be searching for specific things. What am I supposed to search for? The title of a mod? Am I supposed to be a walking dictionary that knows all of these things? I don't really know. Yeah, you're supposed to search for something that you want in the sales, and it will literally charge you for searching for it, but we'll actually find it. Wink, wink. But it will in time. Basically get you the thing that you want, but it will cost you money. So I would imagine you probably... But the thing is, what I mean is, having never used this before, it's not got any guidance. It may have guidance outside of the game, though, yeah. Although I would have thought this was a sort of mod that really probably could have done with a bit of a GUI. A page of a help, like on its own page, because it really is a bit sort of confusing like this because of just the very nature that it is. But yeah, you can actually search for but I think you'd have to do it specific. That should give you a laugh, actually. But this is just searching for them. That's not... There was supposed to be a mod that I have actually got ticked. This is a joke. Oh, it doesn't even show. Right, okay. It's a work in progress. In fact, I think I broke it. I think I need to... I've got the backup file to do it again. But I think I did mention this. I've tweaked this. I can't wait to actually try it again to see if the weight that we've put in the back. Yeah, the other thing is I really do need, I suppose, a support at the back, because it sort of now looks ridiculous. The fact that it's supported, it would be putting so much pressure on this front joint that I think it will break in real life. So I'd like the physics to be proper. Yeah, so we're going to put another one of these over here, I think, to support it. So that it works and it looks proper. Yeah, I'll do that for them all as well. So it's strange. Sometimes you don't see it until you like look, and then I've always said this: the human brain is amazing. You can look at something and eventually the penny will drop, and you think something not quite right about this picture. And then like you think, even though you're talking, you think, oh, I see it now, but I don't see it like always. And obviously, like it's only at this moment that I finally like thought, oh, actually, that's not that would snap, because the physics are just, yeah, there's not enough strength in that particular part. It would either fall down on the floor or snap at that point, either which is not particularly good. So let's just send those things back before we get walloped for additional costs. Yeah, this is what I think is so ridiculous. It shows you it, so you see it disappear. It's crazy. I mean, for those... this is what I'm saying about Giants talking about realism and partners. Right, yeah, we also want to release that. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, a lot of content creators are partners of Giants. No, we did actually empty it. And Giants know they make content, and they're partners. So why have Giants created something where the content creators that are their partners are going to look silly because it shows the things on the map disappearing? It's not really for people like Mr. Silly P that love, and most serious content creators. The word immersion gets bandied around an awful lot by almost every content creator. So why have Giants done something that affects their partners in a detrimental way? That is the question that I'm asking. Will I receive an answer? I doubt it very much. Yeah, no, it's always things like that when people go on about partners and stuff like that. It's there are quite a few things. I think I hopped on about it a little bit about the forums and how the public testing tool that modders have got access to has got an awful lot missing, and I would imagine so has the editor, and so has other things got things missing that Giants can whiz bang make some really wonderful things quite quickly, and tools that make it more interesting, and we've got to work with tools that are like less than stellar. Yeah, basically as an afterthought, which when you consider we're supposed to be partners is the way that we're told we are, but the actual what we're told and what you get sort of belies the claim of partners, really. It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek part of that, isn't it, really? If you like treating them as a second-class citizen you're not looking after them very well at all, that's not a partnership. Not really, no. But anyway, yeah, enough of this. Let's leave on a good note. Yeah, so we do fairly well. I'm really pleased. I have sort of started to make... I've made the Mark 1, so what I've done... This one, I think I said this last session as well. I'm leaving this one. It really would be the equivalent of Bionic, but it was a test. So the straw one is the standard version. The whiskey one... Oh, that's a point, actually. I've not seen this in the real world. The whiskey one, this was quite a unique texture. It just goes different... Oh, it is very high grade, yeah, it is. It looks a little bit strange, all the different shades, but apart from that, it really is, when you get up close and personal, very, very high level. It is, I do like it. I'm still not 100% happy with the fact that it's got some darks and lights that bleed in. The actual picture is really fantastic, but it doesn't really lend itself to this terribly well, whereas that really does fit very, very well all over. So I might still change this. I just wanted it to be a little bit sort of special. It is quite nice, but it's a bit strange the way it does like weird things. Again, I always... Yeah, if you have an opinion on the matter, I would always love to hear from you, definitely. So, yeah, we'll show this a little. I don't really sort of show it, because not everybody watches all of the... I've released a video about this, the whiskey factory. What does it do? It does whiskey. Which I'm sure you can guess from the fact that it's called the whiskey factory. But yeah, it does barley whiskey and corn whiskey. Obviously, we were interested in the barley because that's what we've done, and that's what I thought when I realised that I could do this. So again, it's also got vintage barley whiskey and vintage corn whiskey. Now these are dearer, but they're not yet. I've got to tweak the prices. At the minute, they're set exactly the same as these, which is very wrong. In real life, obviously, these would be like 25 years in the making or something like this, whereas the barley would probably be 5 years in the making. So therefore, obviously, we can only simulate this with the monthly cycles, but I haven't made them silly. No, I haven't. But I need to see how much this is going to produce, because we obviously have got to produce quite a bit, even if it was 1,000 litres a month or whatever. So I don't know what this is going to produce because it's not got many inputs. So I think it's going to be quite poor, and I might need to tweak this up quite a lot. But we shall see. Again, this is the testing, the very first use of this that we've actually got. So yeah, the vintage corn whiskey makes even slower. Yeah, I've literally reduced this an awful lot. But again, I might need to soup the cycles up of everything just based upon the amounts, because it might take 3 years to make 1,000 litres of this, which is obviously silly. But it is a lot slower. If I just show the vintage corn versus the corn, that's 3 times the amount, and that's a third, obviously. Yeah, that's what that means. So yes, everything is a lot. The actual losses are literally exactly. There's a lot of literalies going on here. Yeah, I asked Copilot's help on how much loss you would have in this type of process, and it was 20 to 30% would be the loss thing. So I've literally done my research. I've not just pulled a number out of the hat. And obviously there will be that these are going to be, but again, yeah, but I just can't wait till we actually sort of get this coming in. We need sugar. I will allow the buying to begin with, because this was sort of we can. I haven't done honey for it actually. I've only done sugar, but maybe honey is an option. I could actually do 4 more recipes and just like do it honey instead of sugar. But for now, we'll buy some. You can't buy sugar. Now you can. You can. From 82 Studios, you can. So yes, we can actually. So yeah, we will buy some sugar for now. And we may plant some sugar like next year. So yeah, I'm really loving my time on it. And it's these unique productions are also adding an element that you will not find anywhere else, because they're not released anywhere else yet. Yeah. So these are the maiden voyage, so are subject to the testing we do, making the changes until this would be a reasonable basic production. And then obviously I'm going to make a bionic and a super that is obviously, as the name says, bionic and super. So yeah, the same for this. This is the standard version, but again, it might be, I think I've tweaked it down way too low, but I'd sooner that than nothing. So when we go through a month, when everything starts to go in there and we put the sugar and that in, then obviously at that point we shall see what we get after a month, and I'll like go, oh my life, that is terrible, I need to like tweak it up 3 times the amount of the cycles or whatever, and we'll take it from there. So yes, so all that remains is to see whether that it does get reminded by you as well. I thought it was just, yeah, it did used to be, it's still not quite reminded. It seems vehicles are the master of this. Yeah, it's not completely listening to me, whereas it does if you get a vehicle. So yeah, I'd like to see how much we can actually get in that before it's like chocker, because even the bays in this are bigger than they were, because obviously the depth is a little bit bigger. You couldn't really put anything in the bays, not a lot, because there was no depth to them at all. Yeah, even a bit more than that. You could almost get one of those in, and that's not bad. So yeah, and I think the bays are big enough really for a lot of them to have 2. So it's slightly longer than everything really. So we could actually, I think you could get 1 thing in these side ones, a little thing. So yeah, there's plenty of little bays. That reminds me, we need to like reset the store deliveries. So I think we've shown everything. Yeah, that's all I've done. I kept my word. I've done the done those productions, and we've got quite a lot to look forward to. I think personally, it's just, yeah, I'm looking forward to actually using these and tweaking them as we go through the Let's Play, and actually making it happen, because we have got an awful lot of straw and an awful lot of barley to actually use to make whiskey. So yes, I might also, when we get a bit more cash, I might bring in a bionic where we might need that. Yeah, I want this to be as it should be, but we've got a lot of barley, so I might actually make the bionic, and we'll bring in a second one and actually do that. I've got not got, but I'd just like to tweak this. I need to test them all anyway, so it's ideal to bring them into a Let's Play, truthfully. I've yet to use a super. I've not made one, and I haven't done, but I will do. I'm going to start to do these for the ones that I've put into the ModHubb. So far I've only got self-sufficiency and the normal production silo, the pusher as I call it, the standard one. So yeah, they're both into giants, but I am going to do them as sets. It was only after I'd put them in that I actually thought about, oh, I could have done a set. I could have done all 3 in one, but I didn't know that at the time that I actually put it in, because I hadn't done any sets at that point. So yes, and I haven't forgotten this. We need to do something with this too. So yeah, we'll have a look and see what we can actually do. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.